Have a NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race winner, and that's Carl Edwards. He drives the number 99 Aflac Ford for Roush Fenway Racing, and he's joined by team owner Jack Roush. And this is Carl's first All-Star Race win. It's the 8th different winner over the past 8 races. Carl, your race car was just extremely, looked like it was right on out there tonight, and you drove it like a true champion. Congratulations. Talk about winning the All-Star Race and all that means.
Yeah, I don't think it's sunk in yet. I'm really excited to be able to get on the phone and call some of my close friends and talk to them about it. I'm really excited about going to Iowa tomorrow. It'll be neat to go out there and show up as the All-Star winner. I mean, it's unreal. So it's going to be fun. Just can't thank Jack enough, Ford, Aflac, Bob, the crew guys. My pit crew stepped up tonight. I mean, they did an unreal job on that last stop. If we wouldn't have come off pit road first, it would have been a very difficult race. You know, it took me about 10 laps or so to get by Kyle and those guys, so it would have been a very tough race. So those guys, they get a lot of credit for this win.
Bob Osborne, talk about maybe some of the changes you made to the car, if any, but certainly that race car was lights out.
Thank you very much. We really didn't make a lot of changes through the race. A couple changes for the last 10 laps, and it seemed like it worked for us. Carl got a fabulous restart, got out front there, and seemed to be able to do the business he needed to do.
Thank you, Bob. And Jack, congratulations. This race team, race organization is off to a very solid start and winning the All-Star Race here tonight. Just your thoughts about that overall.
Well, it's a testament to the hard work everybody's been doing. There's a lot of discussion about hard work in this business, but you know the Roush Fenway guys have really suited up for it in the winter, and the manufacturing parts working well. You know, Carl went through a manhole cover there in the celebration and damaged the car. And that car, most people would look at the car and said that car had to go to 600. But Bob assures me that he's got a better car waiting back at the shop to go. You know, the unsung hero is Doug Yates in the engine tonight. I watched the way that engine handled down the straightaway, and it was really good. It's a long time since we've seen our engines run as good as they did tonight. But glad to have Ford here with us tonight. We had a big contingent of Ford people. Albert, the great grandson of Henry, was here, and then the grandson of Henry, Edsel, was here as well. And so we had really a good Ford showing. At the same time, we had great performance from all the guys that had worked behind this thing. And I'm just amazed at the calls that Bob makes. You know, I generally want him to make a call that's a change that's twice as big or half as big, and he always has it right.
Okay, we'll take some questions now for Carl, Bob, or Jack. If you have one, raise your hand. Start over here with Hill. Go ahead.
Yeah, Carl, Hill Overton, WIXC Radio. You got a great restart there on that last jump there against the best in the business at doing that. Did you have any fears that with that FR9 horsepower you might spin the tires?
Yeah, I was a little bit worried about spinning the tires. You guys laughing at me because I screwed that one up earlier? Yeah, I did. Thank you, Jack. I had some trouble earlier. And what do we do when we make mistakes? We learn from them. That's what we do. Okay? And so I learned from that. And it's the positive light you have to shed on those kind of things. And it worked out. I'm sure we're going to get to my destroying the car incident, and I'm going to shed some positive light on that too. But yeah, the restart was good. And man, that thing, it really runs. So you do have to be careful. And especially these engines that they brought for the All-Star Race, they're fast. So that was a great restart. And it could have gone either way. I mean, Kyle could have really hung in there, and it would have been a really tough race. So I'm glad we were able to get him.
Let's go to the press box. Questions in the press box.
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette. Carl, I know.
Speak up, Monty.
I would appreciate it in the future if you all would give me sound levels and a high-tech group.
We would appreciate it too.
Enough of this frivolity.
Frivolity.
Speaking of this, I know that you're a racer, and racers love to race. and you're excited about every chance. But how in the name of God can you win $1 million after midnight out here, and I know you're a Midwesterner, and then go to Iowa at the crack of dawn tomorrow?
That's Cessna Citation right there for you. I got a really nice plane. I'm gonna go jump in and fly up there, and I'm just it's amazing that we're able to do all of these things. And it's that car. I went up there this morning and practiced a little bit in it. Brian Eichler practiced after I had left, and Mike Beam and Jack and all these guys. Doug Gates have prepared a race car that any one of these guys would like to go get in and race tomorrow. So I mean that's what it's about, is going and having fun and racing. And it's interesting, as a racer, I think a lot of racers feel this way. I know for myself, when you win a race, something big like what happened tonight, it makes the next couple of races so much fun, because you're just kind of you got a little spring in your step, and I really can't wait to go tomorrow. It's people say, hey, what are you going to do after you won this race? And it's the most enjoyable thing I could do is go race another car. So I'm really excited about it, and I appreciate Jack giving me the opportunity.
Go ahead, press box.
Tony Bullock, Courier Tribune. Carl, could you just talk about, clearly you had a great car tonight. Could you talk about sitting on pit road, that 10-minute break, trying to figure out what to do or not to do to that car to end up getting the win tonight?
Yeah, I did not like that part, sitting on pit road there. I did not enjoy that, and I was a little embarrassed to tell Dick Berggren how nervous I was about the last 10 laps, but I really was. I felt like we had the fastest car, and if I did everything right and got a good restart, and Bob and I made the right adjustments, that this was our race. I felt like we were that good, and those are the only times I really get antsy, when I know, hey, if I do everything right, we can win this thing. And so, yeah, I was ready to go back to race, and I didn't want to be sitting there.
Stay in the press box. Go ahead.
Jack, this is Thomas Pope from the Fayetteville Observer. As bad as it was a couple of years ago, can you address could have been much better than tonight to have won every segment? David won both of his, Greg won one, Carl won three. He had 3 cars in the top 5.
Well, we could have lined all four of our cars up in the top 4. We missed that. We have to work on that for next year. But the guys have worked hard, and I'm just proud to be part of their program now. They've got me worked around. They got me really close to the door, so that there's not as many tools I can get my hands on, and not as many things that I could screw up as I used to. But the manufacturing piece that's headed up by Robbie Reiser, and the job that he does with all the managers in the shop, is just extraordinary. I can't imagine anybody is doing a better job than they are today at getting these cars ready. And the engine, the new Ford engine, has come online. Last year was a teething period with it. It took us a while to figure out exactly what it wanted, and Doug's got the measure of it now. As Carl said, the engines we have here are a little better than we'll have next week for the 600, but the engines that we have here will be coming by chase time in the fall. So the engine's good, the car's good, the engineering is just incredible. The people ask me, how did we get off last year? Well, from the winter of 2009, 2010, we had some simulation help that we had consultants help us with that didn't correlate. And the correlation, Ford stepped in and helped us with it. Things are correlating now, and when an engineer tells the crew chief, which Bob is an engineer himself, so he looks at things different than a lot of crew chiefs do. But when he gets the indication that the sensitivity is going to be track bar for this track, or it's going to be wedge, or it's going to be camber, or whatever it's going to be, he believes that, and it works out that way. And we would not have had the year that we've had to this point if our engineering didn't stand as tall as the rest of it behind it.
Go ahead, press box.
Jay Penelwood, SB Nation, all of turns of front stretch. Carl, you said you didn't like that 10-minute break there. It seemed like tonight, a lot of breaks. We had a 50-lap segment where things kind of got strung out. That last 10-lap segment, things kind of got strung out. Is it time to re-examine the format of this race?
Well, hell no. It's perfect. No, I think that this race, you have to remember, you're not always going to have a side-by-side 3-wide finish. And I think that tonight our car was superior, and it ended up being a race that we were able to pull away from. But one little thing being different, one different bump stop combination or track bar height or tire pressure thing, and it could have been a much different race. So I believe, as much as we ended up winning the race by, I think that's a rarity in this event. I think with a 10-lap shootout at the end, 4 fresh tires, 9 out of 10 times this is going to be a much closer finish than it was tonight. So I think changing the format would be I think that would be a jump. I know I was really nervous about that last run. I did not feel like we had it in the bag by any means. So it just so happened to turn out that way.
Go ahead, press box, Nate.
Nate Ryan, USA Day. Carl, I think you were kidding about this, but I just want to follow up. You said somewhere out there, I guess NASCAR's mad. They think we're hiding something with the car, which I think you referred to the incident there in the grass. Could you maybe elaborate on that and maybe, as you said earlier, shed some positive light on the destroying the car incident?
Right. Well, I think some people would like to think that I'm smart enough and savvy enough to, all of us are, to come up with some trick and then destroy it like that and make it look like it was an accident, but no, I'm not that smart. So I really did just tear up the race car, but like anybody would in a sanctioning body, they have to look at it like how could they possibly, they might have tried to gain an advantage or something, which we didn't, but I'm sure that the conspiracy theorists will ponder that for a while now. But that's okay. It's what happened. And the light I was going to shed on it was that, you never know what comes from misfortunes, and it was definitely unfortunate that we tore up that race car. But, like Bob said, we got another one at the shop, and, it might be the difference in winning that race at the Coke 600. So pretty wild twist of fate to tear it up, but I'm going to have confidence that something good will come out of it.
Anything else in the press box?
Kerry, we are clear.
Thank you, Scott. Come back downstairs. Jorge, Mike. Let's go Marty, Jorge, Mike, young lady. Go ahead.
Carl, gentlemen, all congratulations. Carl, if you aren't the most coveted free agent, you are among them. How does having this much speed this year, all year, not just tonight, all year, especially tonight, impact a tough decision that you're facing?
All I'll say about that is that we're running really well right now, and it's because of Jack Roush and Ford and all these people's hard work, and those talks are going on, behind closed doors, and we'll hopefully get something done. But right now we're running well, and that is fun. And what I'm trying to do is focus on that because we have a championship to win this year. That's number one goal.
Let's go over here to Jorge, this young lady right here, and then it's Mike. Go ahead.
Jorge Madaka, FoxSports.com. Carl, last year Kurt Busch won this race, and he went on a roll, won the 600. How much confidence does this give you, and what are your thoughts about next week?
Did he use the same car, or do you know? I don't know. That we really have struggled at this racetrack. I have. I think Jack's had a ton of success here, but Bob and I would say it's fair statement that we have been not very good here, and sometimes terrible. So I think that we figured some things out. Bob and the guys have done a really good job, and I think it bodes well for the 600 for sure. I would hope that we can come back here next week with as good or better a car, and definitely a lot more confidence than we had before we got here this weekend. So that's good. I think some of the things that we learned here we could apply, later in the season, which will be important. But this is the first time I've come here and run like this, so it's huge for me. And if you look at our whole season, though, we've run really well at almost every racetrack. It's been a really good season, and that's because of Jack and Robbie Reiser and all the guys at the shop working so hard to get everything in order.